So we will be doing this overview, talking about acoustic, classical, and electric guitar. They have the same number of strings, they have the same standard tuning, but they have a lot of subtleties that make like the sound, usually the genres and style that they would be suitable, and also the technique that we have to apply to perform them. So the first one I'm gonna start talking about the acoustic guitar. It's pretty much it's characteristic of the American musical culture. It has steel strings, right? Usually the classical guitar that we're gonna show later. It brings more of this mellow sound, and the electric guitar can produce that too. But the acoustic guitar has this kind of bright sound, right? The steel string gives this beautiful kind of shiny, like this kind of light that comes from the steel. And many people know the acoustic guitar from folk and from pop music. So I'm gonna play and often using a lot of open strings. You have the open strings and we have closed strings when you have to press in the left hand, right? And we have the strumming that in the acoustic guitar it's often done with the plectrum of the pick, right? So I'm gonna play like this accompaniment. As you guys can see, this is really acoustic guitar. Like a famous Beatles song. Here we listen to a lot of open strings, but we can have, like in the blues, kind of the opposite approach, that we play a lot of, that get this kind of muffled and kind of, percussive sound that is really interesting, and also adding more like dissonant chords, that they're not so open and easy for the listening. So I'm gonna play like this accompaniment of this what we call like this hybrid of blues and jazz, right? And it's gonna be something like that. So it's really cool, Also, we can use the acoustic as exclusively melodic instrument, as the electric guitar does, playing a lot of scales. So now I'm gonna play the same kind of blues jazz example, and I'm gonna play like not chords, but I'm gonna play exclusively melodies. When we go more to the virtuosic side, the solo aspect of the acoustic guitar, we can have a lot of interesting examples of solo acoustic guitar using what people call as the finger style, and it's really suitable for like accompaniments with arpeggiated harmonies like that. And it sounds really beautiful, this combination of open strings and closed strings that might have this kind of jazzy, kind of Debussy classical harmonies with a lot of extensions. So I'm gonna play an accompaniment of a song from my culture. I'm from Brazil, that has this really special flavor for like kind of not non-obvious harmonies, like.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and also it's not everyone that does that, but we have as instrumental music, we play like solo pieces. So I'm gonna play now an original that I wrote for the Hippodrome Theater, this really cool place here in town. We are in Gainesville, Florida, and a piece that mixes some Latin jazz elements with some jazzy and some bossa nova elements. And we're gonna listen. I'm kind of here. I'm gonna combine some of the elements we've been talking, like the open strings, also the slurs and the harmonics, right? So jam at the hip. Associate that with the distortion, right? Right? Right. It's naturally an instrument that has the sustain, right? Because it's always amplified. Now I'm gonna play the chords with the harmony. and improvisation, mixing both. Usually the theme. And we can have like this high-tech effects like that. Now I'm gonna play an example that it's also really famous in the world. That it's bossa nova. two, 1, 2. And I'm gonna play that on the classical. That I'm saving that for for later. Just a few things about the instruments we talked about. We're gonna realize that like the electric guitar and the acoustic guitar both have this kind of thin fretboard, thin neck, you know, that you can kind of close your hands like that. In a certain way, they have like lower strings. They kind of allow you to have this kind of more relaxed physical approach to it, right? And we're gonna see how the classical is a bit different in that regard. One element that I should mention is the electric guitar. Also, you can play with fingers, you know, and pick. So this is the classical guitar, right? I think right away one of the main features is that we use nylon strings, right? That gives more like a more rounded, with more like low, like there's a predominance of lower harmonics.
Totally with you.
Yeah, so when we listen to the term classical guitar, it's usually important to know how to differentiate that. Sometimes people mention that as a style, right? And sometimes it refers to this specific instrument, right? With like nylon strings. And the style usually it kind of gathers together a lot of styles from many different cultures. And usually one of the aspects of the classical guitar is that while the other ones, usually we play in groups and bands, the classical guitar is often performed as like a solo instrument by itself. So this one aspect makes it really unique, because sometimes we have to kind of accumulate functions and roles that a lot of instruments would be doing by themselves, and we kind of accumulate that in the same instrument here in the classical guitar. And we see that the fretboard, the neck is a bit wider, right? So it requires a bit more of kind of like an athlete approach to it, right? And it's pretty much, of course, we can use the pick too, but it's pretty much play with finger style. And one of the really cool things of the classical guitar, it has also the strumming element that we listen in the acoustic, right? But it has the idea of doing counterpoint. Right, so which is really interesting, and a lot of percussive elements too, right? And weird sound and things like that, right? I'm gonna play a little bit of Spanish guitar here. I'm gonna improvise something that we're gonna see a lot of interesting techniques, as the tremolo, for example, that it seems like a mandolin. It seems like two guitars, right? Right, we listen to something on top, like, and then a melody in the bass, right? And also some rasgueos. You know, it's really cool, and this kind of scales that people love it.
Reminded me of Descarada.
Right?
That is my favorite.
it's really cool, like the flamenco element. Now I'm gonna play something that is from like the Baroque music, right? That we also can use different tunings. Right, that we can see like two voices combined together, the counterpoint. Because here we can have a lot of accompaniment, right? Like the bossa nova that I was talking about before. Like we have this, it's pretty much the classical guitar as accompaniment, like.
I see. The texture of the sound is very different from acoustic, I can tell.
Yeah, you have this kind of muffled. Really interesting.